Okay, Aries, let's take a closer look at your cards. For the first placement, the pull, you pulled the Four of Pentacles reversed. So the pull is what draws your person in, what makes them notice, what makes them turn their head and come back, and why you over everyone else. You chose the Four of Pentacles for June, and that's usually about holding on, and it can be about being stingy, about saving, stuff like that. But this is a love reading. This is your love catch-all, so let's do it right. This is loosened grip, less controlled. This is an emotional shift. It can be softening or pulling back. What's pulling this person in is your energy has changed. You don't feel like you're holding on as tightly or as guarded or as controlled. For some Aries, this might look like softness. You may feel more open or more relaxed emotionally. But for others, this looks like detachment. They may feel you pulling your energy back, becoming less available, less controllable, or even less emotionally owned by the connection. So what pulls them towards you for June is that your energy doesn't feel as clenched anymore. Whether you're pulling back or softening, or something about you feels freer, less rigid, and less emotionally owned by this, this shift is getting their attention. Your energy change is pulling them in. Sometimes when people pull away or stop chasing, the other party notices and is like, hey, and then they start showing up. So that's what they're noticing. They're noticing that you're kind of pulling back. I'm feeling like this is about pulling back and not gripping so hard. For your second card, we pulled the Knight of Cups reversed. A lot of reversals in this read. This is the emotional undercurrent. This is their unedited feelings. So this is before they do what they feel they should. This is before they put on, a show. This is before they put on their mask. This is before they do what they think they should do emotionally. This is what's actually going on underneath it all before they show up for anybody else. It's the Knight of Cups reversed. And this is talking about a moody, inconsistent, unstable emotions kind of. It's romantic, but it's not grounded. It's like mixed signals or withholding. It's kind of like charm without maturity. So this is movement towards emotional expression and affection in the upright position, but reversed, the movement gets distorted. The feeling may be there, but it doesn't move steady or in a mature, reliable way. It's not a king. So underneath the surface, this person does have feelings towards you, but they're not steady. They're like attracted and stirred up and emotionally pulled in. But they're kind of drawn to the chase, the emotional high, or, the idea of love, the actual responsibility of loving someone properly isn't as appealing. This can show up as mixed signals, emotional withholding, nice words with no follow through. It can be like someone being sweet and charming and, you know, to get out of accountability. This person doesn't 100% know what they want. They like romance and they like the feeling of being drawn in, but struggle with maturity that comes after that. This is not their behavior. This is just what's happening emotionally underneath. So yeah. They're definitely pulled, drawn in, but the feelings tangled up in like moodiness and chase and fantasy and emotional immaturity. They like the feeling of love more than the responsibility of actually showing up for it. So it's not that they're not feeling anything, it's just that maybe they're not ready to settle, or maybe they're not mature enough to care or even want to or know how. This third placement, this is what they want. And you've pulled the 3 of Pentacles. So this placement shows what they want from the connection. Not what they, you know, capable of. Not what they're capable of, or not what they're, you know, willing to build. Just what they want. This card shows what they desire from the connection, not necessarily if they're mature enough to maintain it. So with the 3 of Wands, or 3 of Pentacles, sorry, reversed, it is a connection card. So they do want connection. There is connection there, but again, it's reversed. So it's like low effort. It's upright. This card's talking about teamwork. It talks about shared effort, listening, contribution, each person showing up for their part. Reverse, they want the connection, but again, they're resisting the teamwork to put into the connection. They don't like that part. We're getting a theme here. There's a theme showing here, Aries. So they do want a connection with you. And they may want closeness and access to you, attention from you, comfort, and the benefits of being in a relationship with you. But the contradiction is that they resist actual cooperation required to build something healthy. So they're not really about teamwork. They want everything else that goes with it, but they don't want to give completely to it. They want this to be built without picking up their tools. This can also be someone kind of pulling back because they don't feel like you're cooperating or you're showing up, so they don't want to put their effort in if it's not going to be appreciated, or if it's going to be in vain too. There is also that angle. For our next placement, this is resistance. It's what makes them hesitate. It kind of is what keeps them from being fully active in the connection. And again, you pulled a reverse. 4 of Wands reverse. This is what gets them from completely showing up. It gets in the way of them fully showing up. We've looked at what they feel underneath and what they want. This card kind of shows the pressure point. This can be an inner or outer factor that makes them hesitate or pull back or protect themselves or become inconsistent. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's pride, confusion, or control. Or sometimes it's external, like real life, like some children, family, work, marriage, money, distance, time. But again, we have instability and lack of foundation. It's not grounded. The Four of Wands reversed isn't stable. It's disrupted stability, or fear the bond won't hold, or it doesn't have what it takes to go the long way. It's a relationship that has nowhere stable to land or stand. This isn't fully anchored. So that's kind of what's getting in the way. The resistance towards you is around stability. So they're not feeling grounded or secure enough in this connection. It might, this connection might have emotion or attraction and desire, but they're not trusting the structure underneath. They don't feel it's solid. Or they don't feel like it'll last. It doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. We already saw that they have feelings for you. But they may not fully trust the ground they're standing on with you. So they, again, want the connection, but they don't fully trust the foundation. And then we have the blind spot. This is like kind of what's operating off screen in this connection. It's what's not being fully seen, or it hasn't been acknowledged yet. This placement reveals what's influencing the situation underneath the surface. So it's not always obvious. And it's not always intentional, and it's not always negative. But it is active. This is the part of the connection that's shaping things without everyone fully even realizing how much it's shaping things. There's a resistance to commit here again. There's commitment issues or clash of values. There's rebellion against expectations. Avoiding loyalty. Avoiding accountability, not playing the expected rules or by the expected rules. This is when you get the Hierophant upright, it's all about commitment and shared values and loyalty and structure and rules and tradition. But it's not upright. So the blind spot is commitment. So what you might not be seeing is that this person might not be fully committed to you in the way this connection actually needs. There might be unspoken tension around expectations, or there could be a clash of values that's not being honestly addressed. They may be committed more to avoidance here than anything. They might be acting like it's timing or confusion, or I don't know what I want, but underneath the real issue is are they actually willing to live by the standards this connection requires? Which is, I'm thinking loyalty, or, they want you. It shows here that they want. But again, they're not willing to necessarily do all the work. that's needed. The next 2 cards, this is our alignment check. We're going to do an alignment check here. So it's 2 cards. The first card represents when it's easy. This shows how they behave, or kind of how they show up when the connection feels natural, or like low pressure, convenient, when nothing's at stake. This is how they show up when there's no real emotional demands or major sacrifice, no loyalty test, no hard conversations, no outside temptation, no stress, no emotional weight forcing their true capacity to reveal itself. This is their default and how they just act on a regular basis. And it's very defensive and guarded. This person's really holding ground. It's emotionally armored. They're present, they're there, but they're not relaxed. They're keeping themselves very protected. When things are easy with you, this person engages, like they show up, but they stay guarded. They participate, they might talk, flirt, or be present, but they don't give you everything. And they don't necessarily open up very easily. They feel like they gotta have the upper hand, or they might be really reactive, or always ready to have something to say, or they're just really defensive. Like, that would be so exhausting. So they kind of feel like they need some kind of leverage all the time. It's not necessarily that they think they're above you. It's more that they're naturally operating from a protective stance. Maybe they might have been through a lot in their life. Or they may be not very, they might not be a very trustful person in general. Or they definitely don't like feeling vulnerable. But either way, even when there's no active conflict, they don't fully relax emotionally. So when it's easy, this person does show up, but they don't fully let their guard down. They stay protective, they hold their ground, they keep part of themselves emotionally guarded, even when there isn't active pressure. They engage, but they keep their armor on. Okay, part 2. This is our second placement, our second card. And this shows how they show up when it matters. Not necessarily when things are negative, but when something requires real presence, respect, loyalty, maturity, patience, honesty, effort, or follow through. This is how they behave when you need more than just their good mood or their charm or their convenience. This compares whether they stay consistent across conditions or whether their behavior changes depending on what the moment requires of them. This is, just for the record, this isn't positive versus negative, and it's not high vibe versus low vibe. It's not easy versus bad, not happy versus hard. It's how they show up when it's easy to show up versus when it matters. When there is temptation, when the bills aren't paid, when the baby's crying, when you're exhausted, when, you need a friend and there's a party to go to. So, the upright is like fantasy, options, confusion, emotional fog, wishful thinking, choices. distraction. But reversed, this is interesting, they're not as foggy. They become more focused and realistic when reality forces a choice. When it matters to you, they actually become clearer. It's interesting because when things are casual, they stay guarded and resistant. But when something's real and on the line, the Seven of Cups reverse shows fantasy falling away and making a choice and knowing what they want to do. So when it counts, they may become more grounded, more intentional, and more decisive. And they may drift emotionally until consequences become real, but when reality pushes them into a choice or action, they seem to understand what matters. So when it matters, this person becomes clearer with you. The Seven of Cups reverse shows fantasy falling away and reality forcing a choice. So when something real is on the line, they become focused, more grounded, and more serious about what matters. When they stop floating. So that's a positive. They become better. Well, not necessarily better, but clearer. This next placement is their next move. This is the action phase of my spread. This is not a promise and it's not a fixed outcome. It's just what happens if nothing changes, and it's just trajectory. This is shows just their next movement in relation to you in this connection, whether they reach out or delay or pull back or try to make a plan. So this is soft. It's a soft, it can be an apology. It's gentle emotions. They might be like give a small gesture or flirt or check in or give you a compliment. There's emotion here, but it's just a page, so it's still developing. It's not necessarily any follow through. But there is emotion. They showed that a few times, so they do care about you. They just seem to not want to really put in the work. This isn't stable follow through yet. It's sincere and sweet and positive. It's small. And they might just be curious. Maybe they feel guilty, or they just want to reconnect without being too exposed. So yeah, it's page level sweet. So, yep, they're going to be thinking of you in the future. This last card is your power move. This is about you, Aries. This shows the strongest move you can make right now in this connection. And we pulled it reversed. Justice reversed. This is the move that keeps you in your integrity, protects your energy, and helps you handle this dynamic with confidence and self-respect. It's not about winning or, getting back at them or anything. This is what keeps you in your integrity. Justice upright is like truth and fairness, accountability, cause and effect, clean decisions. Reversed, something's not fair, honest, or balanced, and your power move is to stop helping it look balanced when it isn't. Something's not exactly equal. So your power moves to stop making excuses for imbalances. Stop accepting half effort as potential. Stop letting guilt, hope, or chemistry or emotional interpretation keep you in something that does not feel fair or honest. Just look at what's actually being shown to you, not just what is being explained to you. Are their actions matching their words? Is there balanced effort? Is it fair to you? Or are you bending your own standards just to keep everything comfortable? You might have to put up a boundary, or maybe ask a direct question, or make a change in access to yourself. Not everyone deserves access to you, Aries. Or you might have to pull back from one-sided effort. Don't twist yourself to make this make sense. And don't ignore what already feels off. And don't call half effort potential. So your power move is to stop helping an unfair situation be more balanced than it looks. That's your love catch-all spread. Okay, we're going to close it with a rune. I play with the Anglo-Saxon extended Northumbrian 33 rune sets. So if some of the pronunciations sound a little bit different than the Elder Futhark 24 rune set, that's why. Just gonna say that. Let's just see. This is the last word. We're gonna give the rune the last word. Let's see what you pulled. And you pulled Gar. You see that? Gar. It's action. It represents the spear. The spear was built for direct, focused movement toward a target. And it's talking about it's time to take action. It's talking about stop circling, stop second guessing, but just be aware that make sure that's the direction you want things to move forward, because where you direct your energy will shape what happens next. So aim wisely. Okay, thanks, Aries. Thanks for showing up. See you next time.